Patricia Ferris. I'm an instructor here at Blue Cliff College in Gulfport, Mississippi. This video is for informational purposes only, for study purposes, for the guys and girls who come through the course here at Blue Cliff College. I've looked all over YouTube and cannot find a video that shows proper building on the type of machine that we use. So what do we use that I can't find? We use the Fresenius 2008K. This is the type of machine that we use here, and I found all kinds of videos for the other machines, teaching how to build and things like that. That's excellent, but our students definitely need to know how to build those machines. But since these are the ones that we have here in the lab, in the classroom, then I wanted to do a video for them so that they could refer to any time that they would like, so they would have something to study. All right, so today we're going to go through building, how to build the the Fresenius 2008K. I'm going to turn my machine around this way. I hope you can still hear me. Turn my computer around so that we can see. Make sure that we get a good shot of everything. All right, so the first thing that I like to do is I like to go ahead and open my dialyzer and put the caps on. Make sure that you put these caps on your dialyzer. They should be in the bag that your dialyzer comes out of. It should come in a sterile bag. So be careful when you open that bag, don't just tear it open. Be careful, these caps are going to be loose in the bag. So you want to put your caps on, and we're going to seat the dialyzer over here, and we're going to seat it upside down. Now, how do I know what's right side up and what's right side down? Fortunately, they label the dialyzers. Where this number is going to be considered the top of the dialyzer. So I want to seat it to begin with upside down. I want the top on the bottom. In order to seat my dialyzer, it's very simple. I have this little dialyzer holder over here. It has a clamp on it. So you take your thumb and pull that clamp back and seat your dialyzer, and it should hold that steady for you. Now, me personally, I like to work from the dialyzer and back across this way. It depends on how you learn best. There is no right way, wrong way, as far as from right to left or from left to right. There's no such thing as right or wrong. So we're going to be using a standard set of lines, and we're going to open those up, and we're going to set our bag up here. Now, ordinarily, I use my bag as a garbage can. This is the way that I was taught at the facility that I worked at. So I place my lines on my arm, and I always get my Venous line first, and I know this is Venous because it's blue. You notice that these are color-coded. My dialyzer connector and my patient connector, they are both in blue. So to start off with, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that my airfoam detector is open. That's where my venous drip chamber goes. On the venous drip chamber, there are 3 lines going into this venous drip chamber. Tear that piece of paper off so that your lines are completely free. The first line is our medication line. It's just a little short line where we can put medication, or where your nurse can put medication. The second line is your, it has your transducer protector on it. Okay, so this is your transducer line. This line, as soon as you take it out of the bag, you want to make sure that you clamp that closed. You can go ahead and clamp your medication line closed too as well. This will come into play in a little bit whenever we get our saline hooked up. The third line that's coming in, this is your blood line. This is actually coming in from your patient, or in the case of priming, it's going to be coming from your saline. So I call this one the fat boy. If you look at the other two, these two are really skinny. All right, so this guy here, I call him the fat boy just to get the point across that the thicker blood tubing is the one that you want to the back. So the little catchphrase that we say here in this lab is fat boy to the back. So you're going to take your lines and place your drip chamber into the airfoam detector and close the door, making sure that your blood line, or your fat boy, is to the back towards the machine. The next step that we're going to do is, since I took my tab off of this line, my dialyzer connector is next in line. So I'm going to take the cap off of my dialyzer connector, and that should just pop right off. And I'm going to connect my dialyzer connector to the venous port on top of on the bottom. This is actually the bottom. Remember, we have it inverted for priming. So this is my venous port. My little cap here, I'm going to put up here for my garbage. Then the only thing that I have left on my venous side is my patient connector. So I'm going to leave that clamp open. I'm going to slide it back a little bit, and I'm going to take my venous patient connector across, and I'm going to hook it into my saline port, into my saline bucket on the side of my machine. I will show y'all that. We come across over here, and this is my saline bucket, and I have just brought my venous patient connector across and just clamped it into one of the clamps here in that saline bucket. All right, now we're going to come back in front, and we're going to be doing the arterial side. The arterial side, the lines are clearly also color-coded. Okay, so again, the first thing that we want to do is we want to set our drip chamber. This drip chamber on the arterial side has the same 3 lines on it that our venous side has. It has the transducer protector line. Make sure that you clamp that as soon as you take it out of the bag. And it also has your medication line. And then it has your blood line, okay? Same 3 little lines on this one. Make sure, again, that we're going to put the fat boy to the back. Making sure that that is to the back towards the machine. Okay? Very good. Now, I've got 2 choices here. I can come around and do the saline line, or I can do the tubing, the blood tubing that goes into my pump and has my dialyzer connector on it. So I choose to do my blood pump tubing and my dialyzer connector. Notice that I let those lines down. I left the tabs on them specifically so that I could turn them loose. If it touches the floor, you have to throw your lines away. Okay, those lines are sterile when they come out of the bag. We have to keep them clean. So leave the tabs on your lines so that they don't touch the floor. If they do touch the floor, you have to throw the entire set away and get a new set of lines. So make sure you leave those tabs on there and that never touches the floor. This, I'm going to take that tab off. On your blood pump tubing, it has 2 ends. Notice that only one end has a color on it. This is your exit end. This is the end that goes at the end of the blood pump. The clear part goes in first, in the first part of your blood pump. All right, so we're going to move our blood pump forward, and the way that we do that is just press your little start button here. It moves your pump head forward just so you can get this in. And you want to take this and push it in all the way, make sure it is fully seated. Notice again, this is the clear part. This is the one with the clear part on the end. All right, now, conventional wisdom, you can either take this and turn it yourself and feed that in. I like to work smarter, not harder. So I'm going to let my blood pump do it for me. There we go. Notice that it is moving. It has caught my tubing and it threaded it all the way around for me. That's exactly what I want it to do. Now when this comes out, you want to be sure that that is fully seated. All right, make sure that those are far enough below that they are not going to get caught in your pump, in your centrifugal pump here, and then close the door. All right, now this is my arterial dialyzer connector. So I'm going to take this cap off, put it in my trash. I'm going to turn my dialyzer where I can see it and connect my arterial dialyzer connector. So I have my venous, I have my arterial dialyzer ports connected. Now I gotta go back over here and get the rest of my lines because I'm not finished yet. So this part comes over to the module compartment. I like to call this the T box. Notice how it makes a T right here with my saline line. I call it the T box just so it's a visual. The actual name of the piece of equipment is called the module compartment. That's these two connectors right here where we set your saline module. You put your saline line directly between the two. All right, that line you leave open because we need our saline. That's how we're going to prime our machine. This is my arterial patient connector. At this point, I don't need it yet, so I am going to do the same thing with it that I did with the venous connector. I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to set it into my saline bucket. At this point, my machine is built. I have not stuck my saline bag yet, because that is actually getting into the priming part, and we'll go through that in a separate video. So at this point, my machine, the Fresenius 2008K, is built correctly. All right, next video coming up will be about priming.